Howdy and hello. I have 69 game-changing tips to help improve your experience and Helldivers too. Let's go and begin the video. Melee enemies that get too close. You'll stagger them in most cases, and this is indispensable on the bug front. Warriors and commanders that are headless chasing you down, melee, and they'll tend to bleed out afterwards, saving you from either dying or taking tons of damage. Weapons with stationary reloads often have animation cancels. Once you see the ammo turn white, go ahead and crouch. In doing so, you save a couple seconds sometimes. Smoke has the ability to make you invisible. Based on the faction you're fighting, on automatons it works fantastic. Illuminate, they don't care. Every single sample extracted counts as your samples, so please don't team kill over a shared resource. Likewise, consider dropping samples off at the extraction site to keep them safe, because sometimes you get yeeted off into a different galaxy during defending the evacuation site. Learn the true weak spots of larger enemies. Bile Titan's forehead is a one tap using Eat 17. This knowledge makes you a far more efficient slayer of democracy's foes. Then apply it and use combinations of damage to kill things in a much quicker fashion. Railgun Quasar on tanks and Factory Strider's eyes is really crazy. Honestly. Take a screenshot of your minimap fully zoomed out before going anywhere, then find some side objectives and compare the two. You'll notice they have a unique layout before you even discover them, allowing you to pinpoint the location from the minimap anywhere. The red areas on your minimap tend to be camps, bug nests, fabricators, and dropships. Some side objectives do have heat in the form of spore spewers, but not all of them do. Throwing knives one tap overseers to the head, and servo-assisted armor lets you throw throwables faster and further. Diving or going prone reduces the range at which explosions can even harm you. 500 kg, 10 feet away, lay down. You'll likely be fine. If you think you see a side objective, just ping it. If it is, it'll be revealed to yourself and the whole team on the minimap now. If it's not, it won't. So far, the hardest one to ping is SAM site. Under mission stratagems, if you notice a precision strike icon, the mission itself is guaranteed to have Seaf Artillery as a side objective. Hellbomb indicates you have objectives that require Hellbomb to be destroyed. That can mean a whole bunch of things though. Seaf Artillery has 6 different shell types. Mini nuke, which is basically a Hellbomb, explosive equaling the P-strike, high yield being a 500 kg, and smoke, napalm, and static. These are fired based on the order they were loaded in. And many folks discount static, napalm, and smoke, even though static can take out Detector Towers and Stratagem jammers by direct hitting them, and napalm and smoke can destroy Fabricators if you have nothing else to use. While jump packing, you can sort of aim, allowing you to do 360s and hit headshots on Bile Titans. Stims give you 1/100th the effect of what it feels like to live in General Brash's shoes, but they still turn you into a super soldier, so please pre-stim if you think you're about to die. Of all things, not to pre-stim. And I choose this. Also, stims bring back your entire stamina bar and give you a stamina buffer where it doesn't deplete for the duration of the stim. Use that to your advantage as well. Hover Pack opens up a whole new playstyle in the form of Overwatch. Glide up glaciers and provide pretty insane coverage for your teammates. Or get on top of pretty high buildings for the city missions or basic buildings in general on most Illuminate maps. It only takes one Hellbomb to break 2 gunship towers. Just don't place the bomb in the pit and instead put it next to the metal platform on the higher ground. Not too close, it'll bounce, but in this general area, you have a decent amount of wiggle room. Put it down, set it, walk away, and both towers should be gone. Bouncing stratagem balls are a sweet dream for devs, but a player's worst nightmare. To solve this, have a teammate in your party wearing the shield backpack. Toss the stratagem on the backpack, they drop it in a good location, and it lands. Like it should. Crisper can kill tanks, hulks, and Factory Striders in seconds, and so can other flamethrowers, but it's not as cool as the Pocket Sand equivalent. Ballistic shield blocks melee attacks from the front, but it does receive damage based on how strong the attacker's hit was. Enemies can be distracted by explosions and also stratagem beams, often focusing on the one that was cast last. Land near 2 War Stars and a Hulk, toss your Eat 17 or a good support weapon next to yourself, and then a resupply or another stratagem away. The focus on the second cast stratagem, and then hopefully you survive. If you have a tank tower, or a Factory Strider with a tank turret on top, go to a stratagem jammer and dolphin dive up the side panel. It's slanted. Then rest at the top, and eventually they'll break it. Basic bot Fabricators get one-tapped essentially anywhere when using most anti-tank weapons. The bulk ones require a bit more damage. When going for the duck route, everything works the same on both of these. Before tossing out a Sentry stratagem, consider the following: your teammates' lives and the enemies that are going to be beelining towards it the moment it's active. I'm talking instantly. Diamonds on your minimap indicate points of interest that tend to have samples. Once you gather them all, it goes from a diamond to a kite. Sometimes it's not completely accurate and there's a sample in a crate, but it's usually just one sample. Found yourself on fire? Go ahead and lay down or go prone and put it out instantly, as long as you aren't still in the fire. And this helps a ton when using the double-edged sickle and wearing fire armor. If you're laying down and firing it, you'll take a lot less damage from the dot effect. When a teammate dies, open your minimap or look for the skull and reinforce them near their loot. If your teammates are closer than you are, let them reinforce. If they take too long, then maybe consider your options and reinforce anyway. Turn reinforcements into an anti-tank weapon, but understand, with great power comes comical deaths, in the sense of hitting a Bile Titan and getting crushed. Get into buddy bunkers all by yourself, using a warp backpack, crouch near the door, teleport in, or the Emancipator exosuit or Patriot exosuit. Back it up near the door, exit, loot, re-enter, and be on your way. Sentries, emplacements, and the Resupply Stratagem are the perfect height to climb. Use them as a step up to get on top of mountains and random objects if you so please. Stim pistol can keep an enraged commander and warrior alive while headless, indefinitely, unless you shoot them and kill them. But they can now be walking around faster, chasing folks around. Get more bang out of your Hellpods. Toss them on bug nests and fabricators if you don't need them necessarily in that moment, or if things aren't too crazy. That way they can destroy them, and even close Bile Titan nests, which otherwise require a lot more damage. Hold the reload button and see what you can change. In some cases, it may be nothing. In others, it is the most impactful aspect of a weapon. Variable, for instance, going from the automatic mode into volley and ultimate, firing 49 shots at once. That's a lot of damage. VG70 variable can one-shot the eye of a harvester using ultimate mode, because the spot itself is light armor, which is freaking crazy. Now, because you can damage it using light pin guns does not mean everything that can hit it should hit it. You'll be there for ages using most other guns. But do hit this area using a drop pod to kill it quicker. Toss down a resupply the moment you land, and at every objective that may take you a bit of time, toss one there as well. The importance of doing this semi-consistently cannot be understated. Played the game for a lot of hours so far, and I still forget to do both of these things. Harvester shields can't regenerate if you break a single one of their horns. Top or bottom, doesn't matter, and they're very easy to break as well, only requiring a medium pin. Farming super credits is often done on difficulties 1, 2, and 3. If you see a high level in there, that's probably what they're doing. If you see me in there, I didn't turn my thing to private, and I'm trying to get a clip for a video. There's no need to waste your time on science buildings or detector towers, since the EMS, gas, and P-strike can blow them up instantly, as well as the 500 kg and even rail cannon strike, if it lands. The last one, that one's tough. But it works. Anti-material rifle is better in third person. You're pinpoint accurate. All you're waiting for is the ergonomics delay. Equip the peak physique armor, and that essentially goes away. This thing is actually bugged currently as well. Go ahead and have a teammate drop you their AMR or DCS, and they'll aim a lot better. Give it a gander. One of the easiest windows to hit a Bile Titan's weak spot is during its spew, which happens fairly often. After the spew, it can't do it again for a little bit, so instead get close and it goes for either a single jab or a multi-jab attack. Multi-jab gives you tons of time to land a 500 kg, P-strike, or various other ordnances. Deflections occur when your weapons can't pierce an enemy's armor, or the angle is too severe, and in that case, even a recoilless rifle can simply just veer off course. Now, deflections are normally depicted as blue sparks from either your laser weapons, ballistic weapons, doesn't quite matter. In that case, you need to either use the weapon that has a higher pin level, or keep doing no damage. Choice is yours. Maybe find a different weak spot if it even has one. Never stop moving or practicing movement. There's so many ways you can traverse bases or even use certain items to get places you didn't think was possible. It is genuinely a freaking lifesaver and a game changer. So practice moving around certain areas. Automaton bases, figuring out structures that look climbable and are climbable, and just go from there. You can drive the FRV using one-handed mission objectives. Just don't get in from the driver's seat first. If you do, you'll drop it. Instead, go to the passenger seat, hop in, and swap seats. And now you're good. If you want to fight more hunters, focus on E710 oil, geosurvey, and retrieve data missions. If you like fighting bile spears and nursing spears, instead go for ICBM, raise the flag, and purge hatcheries. Those missions tend to spawn those enemies and in higher densities. It's not a guarantee, but it's a pretty high chance. These are based on the constellations and seeds that change every few months or so. Before Race of Flag was a Hunter Seed, now it's Bile Spears mostly. Detector Towers don't have to spot a single player to spam bot drops. If they locate a Sentry of yours, it is GG. They're sending unsolicited dudes to you and your loved ones. It's tragic, truly. So be sure to maybe handle those. Don't toss them too far out. Toss them underneath the tower, if anything. And they also may detect your supplies and stratagem drop pods. I didn't test that too thoroughly. Be careful. You don't have to place a Hellbomb in the same area it makes you type the code in. Instead, type the code in and toss that thing anywhere you want to, or run with it. And to take it even further, get in the FRV and drive with it. And you can exit, still with stratagem in hand, and toss it wherever you please. Have a full foreman doing this, and things might get a bit crazy. Backpedaling is freaking powerful. I'm not talking about running away. I'm saying to hold the S key while shooting enemies in battle. Sometimes you should definitely run away so you can win the war. Otherwise, you're wasting tons of reinforcements trying to get your stratagems back because you died and the cooldown's not up to toss them back in again. So you're better off just running away until you get those cooldowns back. You can make hunters miss their leap attack if you reverse your direction after they jump. You're walking left, they jump, you then pivot right, and vice versa. Also goes for front and backwards, kind of. This works because those guys are cheating. They're using predictive movement. Resist the temptation to throw barrages directly on a raise to flag objective that requires players to be on the objective to progress it. Heavy armor with gas resistance plus vitality booster makes you an exterminator. The gas damage no longer hurts you whatsoever. Explosive resistance armor is fantastic. Surviving a rocket strata rocket to the dome is mental. This was using the Force of Law armor that has 25% explosive resist and 25% chest damage reduction. I don't know if that plays a role with the rocket because it hit me in the face, but it might. In any case, you can also survive tons of damage from Bile Spewer stuff. Bile Spewers don't kill you as fast, and Bile Titans, same deal. Fun fact, Ballistic Shield will reduce the damage taken from Bile Spew attacks, and Directional Shield mitigates all the damage taken from the Bile Spewer enemy specifically when spewing. It takes no damage, you take no damage. That's nuts. Disarming enemies you don't have a kill shot on or a weapon powerful enough to kill it quickly is a very wise thing to do sometimes. Flame Hulks, they have the firearm and mobility, that's it. Break the firearm and all they can do now is run at you and stop on you. Break your leg and now they can't do anything. Factory Straters, break the chinny guns with Railgun. It takes next to no charge above safe, I believe, and now it's essentially going to be defenseless if you're not too far enough away for the tank turret to kill you. Just gonna be spawning minions, and those guys get one-tapped by a couple of guns. Never trust a clanker, which also applies to your own sentries. In this case, the Tesla Tower. Folks say to lay down next to it or near it, and it shouldn't attack you, which is true. It shouldn't, but it can, and it does. I've had some pretty egregious examples where nothing's near me, and I still get decimated. Be aware of environmental hellbombs. Sometimes maps are chock full of them, and they can be set off by enemies exploding you and your comrades, or you can use them to herd enemies toward them and set them off yourself. Side objectives are worth just over 2 Helldivers. They give you 50 experience, and extraction gives you 20 experience per player. When the mission timer hits 0 and no extraction has been called yet, it will then start the base timer, which is 2 minutes. If Pelican 1 has landed for extraction before the mission timer ends, once it does end, the 20-second timer to get in begins. And normally you get about 21 seconds, but I wouldn't push it because sometimes Pelican 1 don't care. Speedrun a medium nest using 500 kg. Toss in the middle and destroy all 5 holes in a single go. Equal Strike has the same potential, but you likely need to have the ship module upgrade, giving it 1 extra payload delivery thing. Directional Shield and Shield Backpack let you tank a full-on tank shot in light armor. I did have Vitality Booster, but in either case, I survived. The Ragdoll does have the ability to take you out of this world. That's one thing to keep in mind, but it's pretty cool to sit there and parry a tank shot and pull up the shield as it fires. Shrakira Hotel and Spore Spewer are health-based objectives. Any gun can damage it for the most part, but the damage they do is very important. Recoil's Rival can one-shot it, E17 takes 2, and there's plenty of other ways to take it out. Just get creative. One way that's really nice, though, is using the strafing run to take out 2 Shrakira Hotels. And if there's only 2, you're done. If there's 3, wait a few seconds and get the other one gone. Also, you can use the Cluster Bomb Strike. That one's pretty RNG based. Sometimes you get 1, Sometimes you maybe get 3. Little side note, on the higher difficulties, Spore Spewers tend to have a decent bit of samples for folks that really need them. A safe place to land is the evacuation site. In most cases, sometimes they're freaking guarding that thing like Fort Knox. A fun place to land is the fortress at the center. It's also more efficient as long as you don't die. Railgun can one-shot hulks in safe mode, but unsafe mode is the mitochondria of the weapon, the true powerhouse. Use unsafe mode and experience what the weapon can truly do, and in most cases, you don't have to go past 80% charge. Although full charge can be quite useful. Seaf Troopers listen to a few commands. Follow me. They'll do it. Kinda. They're a bit slow, but they get there eventually, and they'll help you shoot things. You can have up to 6, I believe, tailing you at one time. You can make them wait, and they'll do that too a little bit, and also have them salute you. So looting the flag or other objectives will make them progress faster, and the flag is pretty noticeable. Have more than one person doing that, you'll see the progress, I wouldn't say skyrocket, but definitely start to inch a bit more. Use and turn off your own backpacks by pressing down on the D-pad for controller and 5 on mouse and keyboard. You can supply yourself with your own supply backpack. You can deactivate your guard dogs, arc dogs, any backpack that shoots for you, and arm a Hellbomb. Warp backpack does not work this way. Instead, just hold the jump button and you'll go ahead and teleport. Grenade and stim packs you find in the wild that give you back a full refill. So go ahead and stim and toss grenades before gathering them. The resupply backpacks only give you 2 each per resupply. So in some cases, if you have only 5 out of 6 stims or 3 out of 4 stims, pop a stim and then resupply if it makes sense to you. The general rule of thumb, if everyone's near a resupply, they each get 1 per person. Now, folks aren't red on their supplies and they're far away. I tend to dabble in taking 2. By the way, if your teammates' ammo is blinking red, they're probably out. If their stims are red and blinking, they have none left. And it may be wise to go and actually stim them, if they let you. Navigate the loadout menus faster using L2 and R2 for controller and Z and C on mouse and keyboard. I haven't done this in forever, but it does speed up the process. My scroll wheel is not quick. Get creative with Hellbomb placement. For Detector Tower, place it on the outskirts. Depending on where you put it, it will destroy the tower in a much safer position. Not having to go in there and clear out all the enemies. Science buildings, put them on top. If you have hover pack or if there's a rock formation next to it, you should be fine. And then there is, what is it again? I think it's called an obelisk. In the open area, place it on the high ground near the statue, but very close to the tower. And in the trenches, there's a little section of the building that you can place it on. In all these examples, you're buying yourself time placing the bomb away from the enemies. And usually, it works out just fine and nothing breaks it. Pelican 1 will hover and provide air support if you stand 50 meters away when it's trying to land. And do that until the mission's timer runs out. This can be handy in Leviathan Hunting Grounds, a place where they spawn endlessly. To get there, pick a high value asset mission with Leviathan Blockade modifier, and then join the mission and destroy the generators instantly. Do it solo, because this fails the mission, but keeps Leviathan spawning endlessly. Be careful landing on this tank in particular with your Hellpod, unless you enjoy a one-way trip to Narnia. Sorry, I'll cut them off. The 69 tips are done, but now for the most important part of the video. Please don't become a glaze diver, or on the flip side, just an avid hater for no good reason. Glaze divers are folks that make up excuses for everything Arrowhead does and think that everything's fantastic and nothing needs to change. They're basically just white knights in a sense. When I say haters, I mean the people that rob themselves of their own enjoyment because they don't have an open mind. That is brutal. Also, the folks that haven't played the game in months and they still talk trash about it while not even providing the critique to it. Like, they don't even understand the main problem, but they're there to just to talk about it in a negative light. What are you really doing? Now, if you have a point to bring up that makes sense and is relevant, sure. But I don't know. It gets to a point that it just seems as if you're dang near miserable, and part of that misery is stemming from the game itself. And before anyone brings up me, yeah, it can be that way. I'm changing a bit here and there, and honestly, many of my critiques of the game were because I base everything on Super Helldive. This is a confusing tidbit. Red hit markers means you have more armor pen level than the thing you're hitting. Gray means you're matching it, usually dealing about 65% less damage based on the durable damage and all that good stuff. This does not always mean that red is better though. On Scout Striders, the legs take a lot longer to kill than the Jondals if you're rocking medium pin weaponry. That was not tip number 70. It requires way too much nuance to explain. I just wanted to give you all the broad idea. Hopefully the video was helpful, and if it was, good. I did my job. If it wasn't, that's my bad, Jit. I'll work on it next time. Maybe. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and as always, have a good day. Check the description for some creatine, electrolytes, and stainless steel pants.